The collapse has already happened. You are seeing this because the old reality has already lost its grip on you. This isn't a prediction. It is a statement of fact, a diagnosis of a specific state of energetic and informational coherence. The system you once knew as your life has lost its structural integrity. It has passed a critical threshold and is no longer self-sustaining. This is not philosophy. This is physics. In the next few minutes, we are going to dismantle the quiet, anxiety, and deep confusion that accompanies this phase. We will provide a precise operational model for understanding not only what is happening to you, but why it feels the way it does. You will be given a new lens, a new language, to recontextualize this instability not as a failure, but as the clearest possible evidence of your own advancement. You are not stuck. You are not backsliding. You are in a post-collapse state, and the rules of engagement here are entirely different. The feeling is unmistakable. A deep, unsettling quiet where there used to be noise. A sense of detachment, as if you are watching a movie of your own life instead of living it. Goals that once burned with urgency now feel like hollow echoes. The effort you expend seems to dissipate into a void, creating no traction, no forward momentum. This is the source of the frustration, the cognitive dissonance of knowing you have evolved internally while seeing your external world remain. Stubbornly, strangely, still. Have you ever felt like your old life no longer fits but nothing new has replaced it yet? That feeling is the most accurate perception you can have right now. Imagine a building. For years you lived inside it, knew its rooms, its pathways, its strengths and weaknesses. You worked to renovate it, to improve it, to make it yours. But while you were focused on the paint and the furniture, the foundational supports, the internal beams, the very things that gave the structure its shape and strength have dissolved. From the outside, it might look almost the same. The facade is up, but inside, it is an empty shell. The coherence is gone. This is the central metaphor we will use today. You are standing in a reality whose internal supports have already failed. You are trying to hang a picture on a wall that is no longer connected to a foundation. You are pushing on a door that leads to a room that has already vanished. The exhaustion you feel is the exhaustion of interacting with a phantom structure. So why does life feel unstable before a breakthrough? Let's break this down. It feels unstable because the stability was an illusion held in place by a system that has now ceased to function. The instability is not a warning of impending failure. It is the after effect of a demolition that is already complete. You are not approaching a collapse. You are on the other side of it. The scientific principle at play is that of a phase transition. A system doesn't just gradually morph from one state to another. It absorbs energy. It changes internally. It reaches a point of maximum tension, a critical threshold, and then it undergoes a rapid, total state shift. Water does not become a little bit of ice. At 0 degrees Celsius, it undergoes a complete phase transition. The molecular structure reorganizes. It becomes something fundamentally new. Your consciousness, your energetic signature, has undergone such a transition. The work you have done, the insights you have integrated, the old patterns you have released, all of it pushed your old reality system to its critical threshold, and it collapsed. The problem is, nobody gave you the operator's manual for the space that comes after. You are experiencing the silence, the emptiness, the disorientation, and interpreting it through the old lens of, I must be doing something wrong. But this silence is not an absence of progress. It is the absence of the old reality's noise. This detachment is not apathy. It is your consciousness withdrawing its observation from a system it no longer co-creates. This frustration is not a sign of being blocked. It is the natural consequence of applying force within a paradigm that no longer responds to it. You are not here to learn how to try harder. You are here to learn how to operate differently, to shift from a builder, a fixer, a striver, into a stabilizer. The promise today is not more struggle. It is clarity. It is control. It is the end of fighting a ghost. You will understand that this quiet, hollow, unstable phase is actually a pristine state of pure potential. It is the most powerful position you could possibly be in. This is not a motivational speech. This is a technical briefing for an engineer of reality. Your reality. If this evidence-based explanation of your current state resonates, if it feels less like a new idea and more like a memory you couldn't quite place, then hit the like button. It's more than an algorithm signal. It is an act of alignment, a way of anchoring this clarity and helping this transmission reach others who are standing in the silent aftermath of their own collapse, wondering why no one gave them the map. To understand what is happening to you, we have to stop thinking emotionally and start thinking like a physicist. Your reality is not a collection of things. It is a system, a coherent, energetic system. Coherence is the key. In physics, coherence describes a state where waves maintain a constant phase relationship. Think of it as a choir where every singer hits the exact same note at the exact same time, creating one powerful, stable, unified sound. Your old reality was a coherent system. Your beliefs, your job, your relationships, your daily thoughts, they were all singing the same song. They reinforced each other, creating a stable, predictable, and solid feeling world. This system was held in place by one thing: your observation. The observer effect is not a fringe spiritual concept. It is a cornerstone of quantum mechanics. It states that the act of observing a system fundamentally changes it. In the context of your life, this means that where you consistently place your focused attention, you are commanding energy to crystallize into a stable pattern. You are the conductor of your reality's choir. Your sustained focus is what told that old reality to hold its structure, to remain coherent. So what has happened? You withdrew your observation. Through your inner work, your meditation, your journaling, your refusal to keep participating in the old drama, you stopped feeding that system your energy. You took your eyes off it. One by one, the singers in the choir of your old reality lost their note. The coherence began to fail. This is collapse. It wasn't a bomb going off. It was a slow, quiet, systemic decay of integrity. The internal supports failed long before the outer walls showed any cracks. This brings you to where you are right now, a specific, definable, and highly misunderstood phase of reality creation. We call this the post-collapse reality window. This isn't a void. It is not an in-between state. It is a post-collapse state. The demolition is complete. The old structure is gone at an energetic, causal level. The ground has been cleared. The silence you are experiencing is the silence of a completed job. The instability is the feeling of open space where a massive structure once stood. This is collapse explained simple. Structure fails before replacement forms. The period between the failure of the old and the stabilization of the new is the window. It is a lag time, a reconstruction lag. The blueprints for the new structure have been approved by you, the architect, but the materials have not yet arrived on site, and the construction has not yet begun. You are standing on the cleared lot, and your fundamental mistake is misinterpreting the emptiness as failure. This misunderstanding leads to the single greatest act of self-sabotage in this phase. You try to force the new reality into existence. From within the window, the quiet feels like absence. The lack of movement feels like stagnation. So, the old ego identity, terrified of non-existence, panics. It screams, "Do something, make it happen, push, strive, manifest harder." And so you try. You apply pressure. You try to force change, to fill the emptiness with action. But what energy are you using to do this forcing? You are using the fear and impatience generated by the old identity. You are observing the lack of the new reality, which by the laws of observation only reinforces the state of lack. You are trying to build a new coherent system using the frantic, incoherent energy of the past. It's like trying to build a serene temple with a jackhammer. The very tool you are using guarantees the failure of the structure. Every time you push from a place of fear, you send a resonant signal back to the collapsed system, temporarily re-energizing fragments of it. You create small, phantom structures of the old life. You see echoes of old problems. You experience frustrating delays that feel familiar. You are not stuck. You are inadvertently rebuilding your own prison, moment by moment, out of a misunderstanding of the silence. The paradigm of force is what built the old world. It cannot build the new one. The new world is not built through force. It is built through stabilization. It is a completely different operational model, one that requires you to stand in the quiet of the cleared ground and become a beacon, a tuning fork, holding the frequency of the new reality until the universe delivers the matching materials. It is a shift from a construction worker to a lighthouse. But before we learn how to do that, you must first identify the cleared ground in your own life. Where in your life does everything feel empty rather than painful? Is it your career, your social life, your sense of purpose? Pinpoint that area. See it not as a wound or a loss, but as a cleared construction site, a testament to the work you have already completed. It is your proof of graduation. The silence is your diploma. Here is the great paradox of your current state. You are not stuck between realities. You are standing in the quiet aftermath of one just before the next one coheres around you. This is not a hallway. It is not a waiting room. It is not a cosmic purgatory where your progress is being judged or delayed. It is the destination you fought for. This emptiness, this silence, this unnerving stillness, this is the prize. You have arrived on cleared ground. The demolition is complete. The old structure, with its faulty wiring, its cracked foundations, and its suffocating rooms, is gone. It has been fully and completely dismantled at a quantum level. The struggle is over. The panic you feel is a phantom echo, a neurological habit of a nervous system trained for a battle that has already been won. You are bracing for an impact that will never arrive. You are still trying to tear down a building that exists now only as a memory, a faint blueprint in the ether. This is the source of your exhaustion. You are spending immense energy fighting a ghost, pushing against a door that is no longer there. Your effort has no purchase because there is nothing left to resist. This changes everything. It means the work is no longer about pushing or striving or forcing a change. That phase is complete. The new work, the only work that matters in the post-collapse reality window, is stabilization. To simply stand on this new open ground and acclimate, to let the dust settle, to allow your system to register the absence of the old threats, the old limitations, the old pressures. Your task is not to build. Not yet. Your task is to become the calm, unwavering center of this vast open potential. Think of it this way. A demolition crew uses explosives, wrecking balls, immense force. A construction crew uses cranes, precise measurements, and a stable foundation. You cannot use the tools of demolition to begin construction. It would be chaos. It would destabilize the very ground you need to build upon. You are in that moment of transition, putting down the sledgehammer and learning the quiet, deliberate language of the surveyor, the architect. This is how to use collapse for benefit. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop trying to manifest, to attract, to pull things toward you from a place of perceived lack. That entire paradigm was based on the old reality's physics of separation. In this new space, you are not separate from what you desire. It exists as a potential within the field you now occupy. Forcing it is like a radio station, trying to force a receiver to pick up its signal. It is a misunderstanding of the mechanics. The station's only job is to broadcast its frequency with perfect, unwavering clarity. Your only job is to hold the frequency of the reality you are choosing, to become stable in that state of being. What if this emptiness is not loss but cleared ground? What if the silence is not an absence of answers, but an absence of the old noise that drowned them out? What if your detachment is not apathy, but the first taste of true objectivity, the perspective of the creator, not the victim? This requires a profound identity shift. You have, for months or years, identified as the seeker, the striver, the one who does the work, the one who pushes the boulder up the hill, who breaks the generational curses, who transmutes the shadow. That identity was noble, and it was necessary, but its contract has expired. That version of you successfully completed its mission. To continue to operate from that identity is to keep the simulation of the struggle running on a loop. Your new identity is simpler, quieter, and infinitely more powerful. You are the stabilizer. You are the anchor point. You are the zero in the center of the storm of infinite possibility. Your function is not to do, but to be so completely and unshakably yourself in this new open space that reality has no choice but to organize itself around your coherent signal. The old you was a warrior. The new you is a tuning fork. The war is over. The age of resonance has begun. An idea is one thing, a feeling is another. But evidence, data from your own lived experience, that is what transforms an epiphany into a conviction. That is what we will do now. We are going to move from the architectural drawing of reality collapse to the tangible proof on the ground. You have been living among the signs, misinterpreting the evidence, reading the data as failure when it was, in fact, the final system report of a successful demolition. The intellectual shift is complete. Now we anchor it in the physical world by learning to read the debris patterns. There are 3 primary signs, 3 unmistakable markers that you are living in the post-collapse reality window. Once you learn to see them not as problems to be solved, but as artifacts of a process that is already complete, your anxiety will dissolve. It will be replaced by a profound and unshakable calm. The first sign is the most jarring, the intense resurgence of old patterns. Just when you thought you were free, just when you believed you had transcended a particular limitation, it comes roaring back. The old triggers, the old insecurities, the ghost of a past addiction, the echo of a dysfunctional relationship dynamic. It appears with a ferocity that feels like a massive regression. You think to yourself, after all this work, I am right back where I started. You are not. This is a critical misinterpretation. What you are experiencing is not the pattern itself, but the echo of the pattern's energy signature being purged from the system. Imagine the old reality structure as a massive energetic computer. It ran programs for years, decades. When you, the observer, withdrew your focus, you cut the power supply. But the machine has residual energy. The capacitors are still charged. In its final moments, the system executes its most deeply encoded, most frequently run subroutines. It's a final, frantic burst of signal, looking for a host. It is not a sign of your failure. It is the death rattle of the old machine. These patterns feel so intense because they are no longer integrated into a larger, coherent reality structure that could diffuse their energy. They are now isolated, concentrated bursts of static. Before, that insecurity was woven into your job, your relationships, your finances. It had a place. Now it stands alone in the cleared space, loud and distorted precisely because it has nothing left to attach to. Your work here is not to fight it, not to process it again. You have already done that. Your work is to observe it, to see it for what it is, a phantom signal, an echo, proof that the structure that once gave it meaning and power has been dismantled. When the ghost appears, you simply acknowledge it and label it correctly. The data packet of the old scarcity program. Or, there is the energy signature of the old unworthiness narrative. You see it, you name it, and you let it pass, because it has no world to land in anymore. It is a radio broadcast from a station that has already gone off the air. This is the first piece of evidence, the noise of a system powering down for good. The second sign is more subtle, and for many more disturbing. A sudden and profound disinterest in your former goals. The ambitions that drove you for years, the desires that got you out of bed in the morning, the very definition of your future success, suddenly feels hollow, empty, irrelevant. This is not the frustration of a goal being blocked. It is the silent apathy of a goal that no longer holds any energetic charge for you. This can be terrifying. It feels like a loss of identity, a loss of purpose. You mistake it for depression or nihilism. It is neither. It is a sign of profound advancement. Your goals were not just ideas. They were energetic components of the old reality structure. They were perfectly coherent with the version of you that existed within that structure. The desire to get that promotion, to buy that specific house, to achieve that certain status. Those were load-bearing walls in the old architecture. They made sense in that context. They were the logical next steps on a blueprint you are no longer using. When the structure collapsed, the energetic pathways that fed those goals were severed. The desire vanishes not because you have failed, but because you have evolved beyond the system in which that desire was a relevant frequency. You are no longer tuned to that station. Think of it like this. You spent years desperately seeking a key to a very specific door. Then, one day, the entire building is gone. You are standing in an open field and you are still holding the key. Is the key a failure? Is your desire for the key a mistake? No. The key is simply irrelevant now. The context that gave it meaning has dissolved. This disinterest is a sign of liberation, not loss. It is the system confirming that you are no longer bound by the limited set of outcomes that the old reality could provide. The emptiness you feel where ambition used to be is not a void. It is open space. It is the necessary clearing of the board before a new game can begin. For a time, you may have no goals, no grand ambition. You will exist in a state of simple presence. This is not stagnation. This is the system recalibrating to a new, much higher set of possibilities that have not yet come into focus. The second piece of evidence, the silence where the old ambitions used to scream. The third sign is the foundation upon which everything else is built. It is the most powerful and the most frequently misunderstood. Emotional neutrality. The dramatic highs and catastrophic lows that defined your old emotional landscape begin to flatten. Events that once would have sent you into a spiral of anxiety now register as simple data points. Triumphs that once would have fueled your ego for weeks now feel like quiet, satisfying moments of alignment. Many interpret this as apathy, a graying out of life. They think they've lost their passion, their spark. They feel disconnected, numb. What they are actually experiencing is the emergence of the most powerful creative state an observer can embody: neutrality. The old reality was a system built on polarity. It ran on the friction between good and bad, success and failure, pain and pleasure. Your emotional reactions were the fuel that kept that pendulum swinging, reinforcing the very structure of duality you were trying to escape. Every ecstatic high contained the seed of its opposite low. Neutrality is not the absence of feeling. It is the absence of reactivity. It is the calm, silent, zero-point field from which all possibilities emerge. It is the state of the pure observer, the one who is not entangled in the drama of the observation. In this state, you are no longer a character in the play, buffeted by the plot. You are the audience, the writer, and the director, all at once. This emotional calm is your new baseline. It is a sign that you have successfully withdrawn your energy from the old chaotic system. You are no longer feeding the machine with your reactions. This stillness is not emptiness. It is potency. It is the quiet hum of a system that is stable, coherent, and ready for new instructions. It is the fertile ground of the post-collapse window. So look at your recent life. Look at the evidence. The resurfacing patterns are not you regressing. They are the final echoes of a dead system. The disinterest in old goals is not a loss of purpose. It is your liberation from an outdated blueprint. The emotional quiet is not apathy. It is the emergence of your power as a true, neutral creator. These are not signs that you are stuck or failing. They are the clear, unmistakable debris patterns of a reality that has already fallen. Which of these signs have you misjudged until now? Take a moment and identify the one that resonates most deeply. The one that, when recontextualized, provides the most profound sense of relief. See it clearly in your mind. This reframing is the final key to moving through this phase with grace and power. If this new way of seeing the evidence is landing for you, I want you to anchor it. Go to the comments and write down which of the 3 signs you're experiencing most clearly right now. Is it the old patterns, the disinterest in goals, or the emotional neutrality? By naming it, you are not only solidifying this insight for yourself, you are creating a powerful field of collective recognition for everyone here. You are showing others they are not alone in this strange and quiet space. Comment which sign you're experiencing most clearly. The signs are not just intellectual curiosities. They are echoes in the material world of a profound internal shift that has already occurred. To recognize them with the mind is one thing. To feel the truth of it in your body, that is where certainty is born. This is the transition we must now make, from conviction to embodiment. Let's move out of the mind, out of the analysis of the debris, and into the space that has been cleared. I invite you to do this with me, right now. There is nothing to force, nothing to visualize in intricate detail. This is simpler. It is about feeling a state that is already present within you. So if it is safe for you to do so, gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take one slow, deep breath, not to achieve anything, simply to signal a shift in your attention, in through the nose, and a long, slow release through the mouth. Bring your awareness to the points of contact your body is making with the world around you, the feel of your feet on the floor, the weight of your body in the chair, the air on your skin. This is your anchor to the present moment. Now, I want you to recall the central metaphor we've been using. The building that has collapsed. But don't see the dust. Don't see the rubble. The demolition is complete. The site has been cleared. Feel yourself standing in that space. It's a vast open field where a complex structure once stood. There is no noise of construction. There is no echo of the collapse. There is only a profound and expansive silence. Feel the ground beneath you. It is stable. It is solid. It is potential. This is not the shaky, uncertain ground of the collapse itself. This is the foundation. Cleared. Ready. What does this space feel like? At first, your mind might label it as empty. A void. But stay with the feeling beneath the label. Is it truly empty or is it simply neutral? This is the key. This neutrality is the most potent state of creation available to you. It is the zero-point field of your own consciousness. It is a space without the charge of past disappointment or future anxiety. It is not apathy. Apathy is a state of resistance, a pushing away. This neutrality is a state of pure allowance. It is calm. It is open. It is receptive. From this place, nothing is being demanded of you. The frantic energy of trying to hold the old structure together is gone. The desperate push to build something new has not yet begun. You are in the sacred pause, the space between. This is the post-collapse. Reality window, experienced not as a concept but as a felt sense in your body. Breathe into this feeling of stillness. Let it expand. Feel the absence of struggle. Notice the quiet. The old frantic signals have stopped broadcasting. The noise of your former life has gone silent. For so long you equated that noise with progress, with life itself. Now you are learning the language of creative silence. This is the space from which all new signals will be born. Now, let's go one level deeper. As you stand in this open, neutral, potential-filled space, notice the separation between you, the observer, and the space you are observing. There is you, and there is the field. Gently, let that distinction begin to soften. What if you are not just standing in the field of potential? What if you are the field? Let the edges of your physical form blur into the space around you. The observer and the observed begin to merge. The sense of a small self, a single point of consciousness looking out at a vast reality, collapses. This is the second collapse, the collapse of separation. You are not a victim of the collapse. You are not a survivor of the collapse. You are the quiet, stable ground upon which the new reality will be built. You are the potential. Feel that. Feel the shift from a person experiencing emptiness to being the embodiment of pure, undifferentiated potential itself. There is no lack here. There is no loss here. There is only the calm, powerful, limitless hum of what is about to be. The need to do something dissolves. The need to figure it out dissolves. All that remains is the state of being. You are no longer just observing the signs of collapse. You are embodying the state that comes after. This is the ultimate validation. It's a truth felt in your bones, in your cells, a somatic certainty that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Because from this state, external circumstances are not things that happen to you. They are things that will eventually emerge from you, from this field of being. Take one more deep breath and let this realization settle, not as a thought, but as a resonant frequency throughout your entire body. A quiet hum of power, of peace, of readiness. This is the emotional signature of the stabilizer. Before you open your eyes, before you return your focus to the external world, I want you to find a single word for this state. Not my words, your word. The word that rises from this deep internal experience. What single word describes this state? Hold that word. Let it be your anchor. The key that allows you to return to this embodied certainty whenever the old world's echoes try to pull you back into confusion. This feeling, this is your new home base. You are no longer a passenger. You are no longer an observer hoping for a better view. The embodied certainty you now feel is not a destination. It is your new command center. From this place, we move from knowing to doing, from being to operating. You are now what the system needs to complete its transition. You are a reality stabilizer. Say it. Feel the shift in that identity. A seeker looks for something. A builder forces something. A stabilizer holds the coherent frequency that allows the highest probability reality to crystallize effortlessly. Your work is no longer about effort. It is about an elegant, precise application of your own state of being. And there are 3 core tools for this new role. The first tool is the most difficult and the most powerful: observation withdrawal. In the quantum model, the act of observation is what collapses potential into a single, fixed reality. For years, you have been observing a reality you wish to change. You observed the lack, you observed the struggle, you observed the patterns, and your faithful, powerful observation kept collapsing the wave function into more of the same. Even when you were observing it to analyze it, to heal it, to fix it, you were still observing it. You were feeding the very structure you wanted to dissolve. Now, that structure has collapsed from its own lack of internal coherence. But the debris still sends signals. The phantom limb still aches. The echo of the old system still plays in the silence. Your new discipline is to stop giving these echoes your attention. This is not spiritual bypassing. It is not denial. It is quantum hygiene. When the old thought pattern appears, the old worry, the old story about who you are and what is wrong, you do not fight it. You do not analyze it. You simply withdraw your observation. You let it pass through your field without giving it the energy of your focus. You starve the ghost. You let the echo fade without amplification. Every time you choose not to engage with the data stream of the old reality, you reclaim the energy that was required to sustain it. You are defunding a phantom. Government. Which old narrative will you stop feeding today? The second tool is frequency anchoring. You have already felt the state of pure potential, the calm neutrality of the post-collapse space. This is your baseline, your true north. Frequency anchoring is the practice of gently tinting this neutrality with the core essence of the reality you are stabilizing. Notice I did not say visualizing. We are past that. Visualization often comes from a place of I want, which implies I do not have. It reinforces lack. Anchoring is different. It is an act of somatic resonance. You are not trying to get something. You are attuning your entire being to the frequency of it already being complete. You close your eyes. You find that quiet, open space inside you, and you ask one simple question. What is the feeling tone of my new reality? Is it calm? Is it freedom? Is it sovereign clarity? Don't search for images. Search for the feeling, the pure frequency. Find that note inside your body. It might be a warmth in your chest, a sense of expansion in your gut, a quiet hum behind your eyes. Once you find it, you simply hold it. You breathe into it. You anchor it into your cells. You are not broadcasting a request to the universe. You are becoming the tuning fork that allows the universe to organize itself around your new keynote. You do this for 5 minutes in the morning. You do this for 30 seconds in the middle of a chaotic day. You become the anchor point for the new coherence. The third and final tool is navigating the silence. The post-collapse window is often defined by an unnerving quiet. The phone stops ringing. The opportunities seem to dry up. The drama subsides. The ego, which was trained to solve problems and fight fires, interprets this silence as failure. It screams, "Nothing is happening." This is the great deception. The silence is not an absence. It is the presence of unmanifest potential. It is the cleared construction site. It is the quantum field before the observer has made a choice. The silence is the most fertile ground you have ever known. So, when the silence comes, your practice is to welcome it. Do not rush to fill it with noise, with distraction, with worry. Do not mistake the quiet for a sign that you have done something wrong. Instead, you are to sit in that silence and recognize it for what it is. Proof that the old structure is truly gone. In the silence, you practice your other 2 tools. You withdraw observation from the ego story about the silence, and you anchor the frequency of the new reality into the stillness. You treat the silence as your sacred laboratory. This is the daily framework of a reality stabilizer. It is a simple, elegant, and devastatingly effective way to operate. Here's how to use this phase for control. Upon waking, you anchor your frequency. As you move through your day, you practice observation withdrawal from any remnants of the old reality. And when the quiet moments come, you embrace them as the canvas upon which your new reality is forming. This is not passive. This is the most active role you have ever played. You are holding the field steady. You are the calm eye of the storm. You are the stabilizer. You are no longer the person who started this journey. That version of you is an echo, a data point in a collapsed timeline. You stood on the cleared ground, the empty space where a life used to be, and you did not flinch. You learned to command the silence. You learned that the absence of noise was not the absence of power, but the presence of potential. You have become a reality stabilizer. This is not a concept. It is an operational state. But stabilization is only the first phase of mastery. The ground beneath your feet is now firm. It is the foundation. And from this foundation, you don't just rebuild a single house. You begin to perceive the grid of an entire city, waiting for its energetic signature. This is the shift from empty ground to an interconnected reality. The architecture of the new paradigm is not built of singular, isolated goals, but of entangled, coherent systems. Your health is entangled with your purpose. Your wealth is entangled with your relationships. Your inner state is entangled with the collective. You have mastered collapse. But when collapse meets entanglement, creation accelerates. The new reality does not announce itself with a bang. It emerges with a hum, a frequency, and navigating it requires an entirely new set of instruments. It is a world that is far quieter than you were led to believe, because force is no longer the primary operator. Coherence is. Our next deep dive together is designed for this exact frontier. We will decode this new operational physics in our next transmission. Post-shift reality is quieter than you think. Here's why. To ensure you are prepared for this next stage of integration, the most advanced stage yet, subscribe to this channel and be sure to enable all notifications. This is not about not missing a video. This is about maintaining continuity in your own expansion. The old structure is gone. It is an artifact, a ghost. You are standing in a field of pure potential, holding the frequency of what comes next. So, I will leave you with the only question that matters now. What becomes possible now that the old structure is gone? The structure has already failed. You are seeing this for a single critical reason. It's because the old reality has already lost its grip on you. This isn't a prediction. It is a statement of fact, a diagnosis of a process that is already complete. What you are experiencing is not a struggle, but an after effect. It is the subtle, pervasive hum of a system that has lost coherence. In physics, complex systems, from ecosystems to star clusters, maintain their form through a state of internal agreement, a shared resonance. When that resonance drops below a critical threshold, the system doesn't slowly degrade. It collapses. Not on the outside, not at first. The exterior can appear intact for a time, but inside, the load-bearing principles that held it all together have given way. This is the phase you are in now. This is the post-collapse window. And over the next few minutes, I will give you a complete operational schematic for not only understanding this phase, but mastering it, transforming it from a period of quiet anxiety into one of profound and deliberate creation. We are not going to talk about just believing. We are going to talk about the physics of reality architecture. We are going to discuss the mechanics of decoherence and the principles of stabilization that allow a new, more aligned structure to emerge from the quiet rubble of the old one. The central metaphor is simple, and it is precise. Imagine a building. For years, you knew its hallways, its rooms, the way the light fell across the floor at a certain time of day. You knew its foundation. But a subtle internal failure has occurred. The primary supports have buckled. From the street, it might look identical, but you, living inside it, can feel the change. You can feel the unnerving silence in the walls, the sense that the very air is thin, that the structural integrity is gone. This is why you feel a strange and persistent detachment. It's why your old goals, the things that once drove you with a burning fire, now feel like relics from another person's life. It's the reason for the profound confusion, the cognitive dissonance of knowing you have changed, knowing you have done the work, yet seeing an external world that seems frozen, unresponsive, or even moving backward. It is the source of the frustration, the deep, gnawing sense that your efforts are dissipating into a void, that the universe has suddenly gone quiet on you. This silence is not a punishment. It is not a sign you are on the wrong path. It is evidence that the old acoustic shell has shattered, and the new one has not yet solidified. So why does life feel unstable before a breakthrough? Let's break this down. It feels unstable because the stability you once knew was a property of a system that no longer exists. You are not failing to manifest a new reality. You are simply standing in the echo of a reality that has already dissolved. Have you ever felt like your old life no longer fits but nothing new has replaced it yet? That feeling of wearing clothes that are no longer yours, in a house that is no longer home? That is the signature of this phase. It is the primary indicator that the collapse is complete. You have successfully exited the old paradigm. The work now is not to push harder. It is to understand the new rules of this quiet, open space. If this evidence-based explanation of your current state resonates, if you sense the truth in this model of reality collapse, take a moment to hit the like button. It's more than an algorithm signal. It is an act of alignment, a way to help this framework find its way to others who are standing in the same quiet space, wondering why the world no longer feels real. To understand what is happening, we must first talk about coherence. Your reality, the one you have known your entire life, was not a random collection of events and circumstances. It was a highly coherent system, a system held together by an invisible architecture of belief, expectation, and most importantly, observation. Think of it like a complex musical chord, where every note, your job, your relationships, your identity, your limitations, vibrates in a specific, predictable harmony. This harmony, this energetic resonance, is what gave your world its feeling of solidity, its predictability, its realness. In quantum mechanics, the observer effect dictates that the act of measuring a system fundamentally changes it, but we must upgrade this understanding. Observation is not a passive act of seeing. It is an active act of energetic agreement. Every time you observed your life from the lens of your old identity, you were casting a vote. You were pouring concrete into the foundations of that specific reality. You were measuring the system, and in doing so, you were commanding it to remain as it was. This is the engine of a stable reality, consistent observation from a consistent state of being. But you did the work. You went inward. You questioned the beliefs. You dissolved the emotional attachments. You changed your internal state, your core frequency. You stopped being the person who was a perfect harmonic match for that old reality. You became a different observer, and a different observer cannot, by the laws of physics and consciousness, continue to co-create the same system. Your new frequency is discordant with the old chord. Your new observation is a measurement that the old system cannot survive. You did not attack your old reality from the outside. You dissolved it from within. This is not a metaphor. It is the mechanism, the internal structure, the energetic coherence that held all the pieces in place, has already buckled. It has failed. The connections are severed. This brings us to the most critical phase of this entire process, a phase so misunderstood it causes most people to retreat and accidentally rebuild the very prison they just escaped. We call this phase the post-collapse reality window. The post-collapse reality window is the period of time between the energetic failure of the old reality's coherence and the full materialization of the new one. It is the lag time. It is the space between demolition and construction. The old building is gone. The blueprints for the new one are approved. But for a moment, all you see is an empty lot. This is where you are. You are not stuck. You are not failing. You are standing in the quiet, empty space of a successful demolition. The silence you feel is not absence. It is clearance. The instability you feel is not a regression. It is the settling of the dust. This is collapse explained simple. Structure fails before replacement forms. The crucial error, the source of all the pain in this phase, is mistaking the empty lot for a wasteland, mistaking the silence for a sign that you have failed. This is where the paradigm of force and effort must die. For years you were taught to push, to strive, to visualize, to affirm, to do something, to make change happen. And in the old coherent system, that forceful energy could sometimes create a ripple, but you are not in that system anymore. Trying to use force in the post-collapse reality window is like trying to hang a painting on a wall that no longer exists. All it does is create frustration and drain your energy. Worse, it reinforces the old structure. Every time you act, out of fear that nothing is happening, what are you observing? You are observing lack. You are observing absence. You are observing the ghost of the old building, remembering its walls and its furniture because the emptiness feels too vast. Your frantic need for evidence, your desperate push for a sign, is an energetic measurement of the old problem. It's a vote cast for the past. It is an unconscious attempt to rebuild the old structure because its familiarity feels safer than the radical potential of open space. Forcing change now doesn't build the new. It reinforces the memory of the old. It's the anchor that keeps you tethered to the rubble. This is why your efforts feel like they're hitting a wall. The wall is an echo. You are fighting a ghost with real energy. So what is the new paradigm? It is the shift from force to stabilization. You are no longer a builder trying to lay bricks. You are a stabilizer, anchoring a new foundational frequency. Your work is not to do, but to be. To hold the resonance of the new reality so consistently that the universe has no choice but to build around you. It is a state of profound trust and deliberate non-action. It's about becoming the tuning fork, not the hammer. We will explore exactly how to do this, but first you must recognize this space for what it is. Look at your life, the quietness, the strange neutrality, the areas that don't hurt anymore but just feel empty. Where in your life? Does everything feel empty rather than painful? That is not a void. That is cleared ground. That is the proof of your success. That is the space where the new reality will emerge once you stop trying to force it and simply learn to stabilize it. Here is the fundamental error in perception that creates the very sensation of being stuck. You believe you are caught in a transitional void, a painful, frustrating space between two worlds. You are not. That feeling, that quiet desperation, is a phantom limb. It is the echo of a structure that is no longer there. The great revelation is this: you are not in between realities. You are standing in the open space after one reality has fully collapsed, and just before the new one has visibly stabilized. Think of a massive ancient building that has defined your city's skyline for your entire life. One day, its structural integrity fails, but it doesn't vanish in a cloud of dust instantly. For a short time, it still looks like the building you know, but inside, the load-bearing columns have turned to powder. The coherence is gone. You are in that moment right now. The facade of your old life may still be standing, but the energetic and causal architecture that held it up has already dissolved. You have been trying to renovate a building that was condemned and demolished a week ago. You are pushing against a door that no longer exists. This is why your effort feels so pointless. This is why your actions yield no results. You are directing immense energy at a ghost system, a memory of a reality that has lost its power to respond. The system isn't resisting you. It simply isn't there to receive your input. The silence you hear is not rejection. It is the sound of an empty field. Let this sink into you. Feel the truth of it in your body. The struggle was real. The effort was immense. But it's over. The collapse is not a future event you are trying to precipitate. It is a past event you are just now becoming aware of. You have already crossed the threshold. You have already done the impossible work of decohering a lifetime of energetic momentum. And now, you stand in the aftermath. The air is still. The dust is settling. All around you is open space. Potential. What if this emptiness is not loss but cleared ground? This single shift in perspective changes everything. It reframes the entire mission. If the old structure is already gone, then the panic is unnecessary. The frantic need to do something is based on a false premise. The fear of being stuck in limbo forever is an illusion. You cannot be stuck in a place that has already ceased to exist. Your work is no longer one of force. It is no longer one of demolition or escape. The era of effort has ended. The era of stabilization has begun. Imagine yourself standing in that vast, cleared lot where the old building once stood. Your first instinct, born of old habit, might be to start frantically, digging with your bare hands, trying to force new foundations into being. You might scream at the sky, demanding that the new building appear. This is what you have been doing. It is exhausting, and it is counterproductive. But what if your only job was to stand calmly in the center of that space? What if your role was simply to be the calm, unwavering central point around which the new blueprints could appear and the new construction could begin. You are not the construction crew. You are the surveyor's pin, the unmovable point from which all new measurements are taken. This is how to use collapse for benefit. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop wrestling with the ghosts of a dead timeline. Your force, your will, your effort, these were the tools for demolition. They are the wrong tools for creation. The energy required to stabilize a new reality is profoundly different from the energy required to tear an old one down. It is quiet. It is coherent. It is patient. It is magnetic. This demands a fundamental shift in your identity. For years, perhaps for your entire life, you have been a seeker, a striver, a climber, a warrior. You have defined yourself by the mountain you were climbing, the problem you were solving, the limitation you were fighting to overcome. That identity has served its purpose. It brought you here, to this open space, but it cannot take you any further. To continue to operate as a seeker in this new phase is to continuously recreate something to seek. To continue to be a warrior is to manifest new battles to fight. You must lay down that identity. It is time to become something new. You are not the seeker. You are the anchor. You are not the manifester. You are the gravitational field. You are the silent, steady, coherent core. You are the reality stabilizer. Your job is no longer to push the river. It is to become the calm, deep lake into which the river can finally flow and find its rest, its new form. The panic can subside. The frantic searching can end. The deep soul-level exhaustion from fighting a battle that is already won can finally begin to heal. You are not lost. You are free. You are standing on new ground. You have only to learn how to stand still. An idea is one thing. Observable evidence is another. The epiphany you just had is not a mental construct. It is a diagnosis of an event that has already occurred. And like any major event, it leaves a distinct forensic signature. You are not flying blind. The proof of the old reality's collapse is written into the fabric of your daily experience, but it's written in a language most people misinterpret as failure, stagnation, or regression. We are now going to learn to read the debris patterns, to see the evidence for what it is. This is how you move from intellectual understanding to absolute, cellular conviction. The first and most misunderstood sign is the intense, almost violent resurgence of old patterns. Just when you thought you had healed a specific wound, conquered a particular fear, or broken a lifelong habit, it comes roaring back. The old anxiety, the familiar self-doubt, the recurring relationship dynamic. It surfaces with a shocking intensity, louder and more convincing than ever before. Your immediate interpretation is that you've failed, that all your work was for nothing, that you are right back where you started. This interpretation is incorrect. What you are experiencing is not a regression. It is an echo. It is the final energetic discharge from a collapsing system. Imagine a power station being decommissioned. In its final moments, it might surge, sending one last massive pulse of energy through the grid before going dark forever. Your consciousness is doing the same. It is flushing the remaining energetic signature of the old identity, and it does so by amplifying it one last time. It is not a sign that you are stuck in the pattern. It is the definitive sign that the pattern is being ejected from your system. See it not as a failure, but as a final diagnostics check. The system is confirming the error before deleting the file for good. The second sign is a sudden and profound disinterest in your former goals. The ambitions that once fueled you now feel hollow. The career ladder you were climbing with such determination suddenly seems to be leaning against a building that is no longer there. The desires that defined your identity for years have lost their emotional charge. They are like photographs of a stranger's life. This can be deeply disorienting. You mistake it for a loss of passion, a lack of direction, or even depression. You haven't lost your drive. You have lost the reality structure that gave those goals meaning. Those goals were destinations on a map that has now been completely erased. They were coherent only within the logic of the old system. Now that the system has collapsed, the goals themselves have lost their coherence. This is not apathy. It is recalibration. Your inner guidance system has stopped navigating toward destinations that no longer exist. It has gone quiet, waiting for the new map to load. Acknowledging this is an act of profound self-compassion. You are not lost. You are simply standing on cleared ground, and the old signposts have, by necessity, been removed. The third sign is the most subtle and the most frequently misjudged. It is a state of pervasive emotional neutrality. Where there were once high highs and low lows, there is now a strange, quiet stillness. It's not the peaceful calm of a meditative state, not exactly. It's a flat line, a profound sense of detachment, as if you are watching your life from a great distance. You may not feel particularly happy, but you don't feel particularly sad either. You just are. And this terrifies the part of you that identifies with the drama of emotional intensity. You worry you've become numb, apathetic, disconnected from life itself. This is the signature of the 0-point field. You are not numb. You are in the pre-potential state. It is the silence of the quantum field before the observer collapses the wave. It is the fertile void. This emotional neutrality is the cleanest slate you can possibly be granted. It is a space devoid of the old reality's emotional momentum, which means you are no longer creating from a place of reaction, trauma, or lack. You are simply present in the space where the new reality will be born. It is not emptiness. It is pure, unwritten potential, the resurfacing echo, the hollowed-out goal, the profound neutrality. These are not random symptoms of a life in disarray. They are the clear, predictable debris patterns of a reality that has already collapsed. They are your proof, your validation. Which of these signs have you misjudged until now? That moment of recognition is the key. It shifts everything from a story of failure to a story of transition. To anchor this conviction, not just for you, but for everyone else in this silent passage, share your evidence. Go to the comments and state which sign you are now recognizing most clearly in your own life. Is it the intense echo, the hollowed-out goal, the profound neutrality? Your comment is not just a comment. It is an act of stabilization, a beacon that helps others read the patterns in their own debris. Field, transforming fear into certainty. The evidence is clear. The signs are undeniable. You have moved from intellectual understanding to personal conviction. You see the patterns of collapse not as threats, but as trail markers leading you out of a reality that has expired. But conviction is still a function of the mind. It is a powerful agreement between your logic and your intuition, but it is not yet the ground you stand on. It is a map, but it is not the territory. To navigate what comes next, we must move beyond belief. We must move into a state of embodied certainty, a felt sense of truth so profound that it becomes the very physics of your personal universe. This is where the real work, the subtle work, the work of the master begins. So for a moment, let's stop analyzing. Let's stop looking for signs. Let's simply be. If you can, soften your gaze or close your eyes. Take a single, conscious breath, in through the nose and out through the mouth. I want you to bring to mind the central metaphor we have been exploring. The collapsed building. The demolition is complete. The debris has been cleared. All that remains is an open plot of land. Feel yourself standing in the center of this space. There is no structure around you, no walls defining your perception, no ceiling limiting your view. There is only open air, raw earth, and infinite sky. Notice the silence. It is not an empty silence. It is not the silence of absence. It is the silence of pure potential, the sound of a held breath before a symphony begins, the stillness of a quantum field before an observation collapses it into form. This is the state of neutrality you have been mistaking for apathy. Feel it in your body. It is not a lack of emotion. It is the equilibrium point from which all emotions can arise. It is the calm, deep water beneath the surface waves of joy, or fear, or desire. For years, you have been tossed by those waves, identifying with their turbulence. Now, you are remembering that you are the ocean itself. This neutrality is your source code. It is the zero from which all numbers are born. Stay in this space. Feel the gentle breeze on your skin. That is the stirring of nascent possibility. Feel the solid ground beneath your feet. That is the unchanging truth of your own consciousness. Before, you were an observer, looking at your life, trying to fix the crumbling walls, trying to patch the leaking roof. You were separate from the structure. Your identity was tangled up in observing the problem and narrating the collapse. But look around now. Where is the observer? Where is the observed? In this open space, the distinction begins to dissolve. The line between you and the field of potential becomes blurry, then transparent, then non-existent. You are not standing in the cleared space. You are the cleared space. You are not looking at a field of infinite potential. You are the field. The quiet. Stillness you perceive is not something outside of you. It is the very nature of your core being, uncovered from the rubble of the old identity. The potential for any reality, any timeline, any experience, is not something you have to attract or manifest or pull toward you. It is what you are made of. This is the collapse of the ultimate separation, the separation between creator and creation, between the thinker and the thought. Breathe this in. Let this knowingness saturate every cell. Let it travel down your spine, into your limbs, filling the space between your atoms. This is not an idea. This is a resonant frequency. Tune your entire physical being to it. The feeling is one of profound, unshakable peace. Not happiness, not excitement. Those are future-facing projections. This is a deep, abiding calm that exists only in the present moment. It is the feeling of coming home to yourself after a long and difficult journey. There is nothing to do here. There is nothing to fix. There is nothing to become. You are simply anchoring yourself in the truth of your own nature, which is pure, untethered potential. From this state, and only from this state, can a new reality structure be stabilized without force, without struggle, without effort. Because you are no longer trying to build something out there. You are allowing a new configuration of yourself to emerge from the inside out. The new reality will not be a place you go to. It will be a resonance you emit. Hold this feeling, this texture of calm, sovereign potential. This state has a name. It has a quality that is unique to you. Let your own consciousness provide the word for it. What single word describes this state? That embodied state of neutral potential is not an endpoint. It is your new operational dashboard. You are no longer a seeker, scrambling through the rubble of a collapsed reality, looking for parts to salvage. You are not a builder, trying to force a new structure into existence on unstable ground. Your identity has fundamentally shifted. You are a reality stabilizer. This is not a title. It is a function, a description of a physics-based process you will now consciously manage. Your work is no longer about effort, strain, or pushing against the world. It is about precision, coherence, and the subtle, unshakable power of your own stabilized state. Here's how to use this phase for control. It is a control born not of force, but of impeccable self-regulation. We will now install the 3 core protocols of a reality stabilizer. The first protocol is the most critical: observation withdrawal. In the quantum model, a system remains in a state of pure potential, a wave of infinite possibilities until it is observed. The act of observation, of measurement, is what collapses the wave function into a single concrete particle, a single, defined reality. For years you have been told to focus on what you want, to observe it into being. But in this specific phase, the post-collapse reality window, that instruction is dangerously misinterpreted. You have been unconsciously observing the absence of the new and the persistence of the old. Every time you look at your bank account and feel the old lack, you are casting an observer's vote for that reality to continue. Every time you check your relationships for signs that they're still stuck, you are collapsing the wave function back into the very pattern you wish to leave behind. You are holding the ghost of the old building in place with the power of your attention. Observation. Withdrawal is the conscious, deliberate act of removing your focused attention from the data points of the collapsed reality. It means you stop measuring the problem. You stop taking its temperature. You stop looking for evidence that things haven't changed yet. This is not denial. This is quantum hygiene. You are refusing to energize a dead system with your consciousness. You don't fight it. You don't resist it. You simply remove its primary power source, your observation. When a thought of the old limitation arises, you see it, acknowledge it as a data packet from a decommissioned server, and let it go. You do not engage. You do not analyze. You withdraw your focus. It is an act of supreme discipline. The old reality is a collection of narratives you have observed into a consistent state. The narrative of struggle, the narrative of delay, the narrative of "it's not working for me." To withdraw observation is to stop reading these stories. It is to close the book. So, the first operational command of a stabilizer is a choice. Which old narrative will you stop feeding today? Take one moment, just one. Identify the primary story of lack or frustration that your mind defaults to. The story about your career, your health, your connection to others. Name it. See it for the energetic script it is. This is not a symbolic gesture. It is a command. You are now ceasing the broadcast. The second protocol is frequency anchoring. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you withdraw your observation from the old reality, you must place your attention somewhere, but you do not place it on a detailed vision of the new. Not yet. To do so is to simply start building prematurely on that same cleared, but not yet stable ground. Instead, you anchor your frequency. You return to the embodied state you discovered in our last session. That feeling of calm, neutral, open-ended potential. That is not just an emotion. It is a specific, measurable frequency. It is the resonant frequency of the cleared space itself. Your only job is to become a living tuning fork for this specific frequency. This is what replaces old-world visualization. You are not trying to generate feelings of excitement or forced positivity. Those are frequencies of wanting, which implies not having. Instead, you anchor into the quiet, solid, and profound frequency of is, the state of pure potential. You do this through microdoses of embodiment throughout your day. Set a silent timer for 3 times a day. When it goes off, stop what you are doing. Close your eyes for 60 seconds. Do not visualize anything. Do not affirm anything. Simply locate that feeling of quiet, expansive stillness inside your body, the space between your thoughts, the calm in your solar plexus. Breathe into it. Feel it. That is it. You have anchored. This act, repeated consistently, stabilizes the quantum field around you to match your internal state. You are not telling the universe what to build. You are becoming the stable ground upon which the new, coherent structure can precipitate itself, effortlessly. You are tuning the environment, not dictating the outcome. The third and final protocol is navigating silence. Once you withdraw observation from the old and anchor your frequency in neutral potential, something will happen that deeply unsettles the untrained mind. Silence. The external world may stop providing dramatic problems. The internal chatter may quiet down. The urgent need to figure things out may dissipate. This silence is constantly misinterpreted as stagnation, as proof that nothing is happening. This is a profound error. The silence is the signal. It is the evidence that the old chaotic broadcast has ended. It is the clean carrier wave before the new signal is encoded. Think of it as rebooting a universal operating system. There is a moment where the screen goes black before the new interface loads. The silence is that black screen. It is pregnant with potential. It is the sound of the system working in the background, integrating your new stabilized frequency. Your job is to learn to love the silence, to sit in the quiet without the frantic need to fill it with new plans, new worries, or new actions. When you feel the quiet, your instruction is to simply acknowledge it and say internally, "The system is stabilizing, all is well." This transforms unnerving quiet into validating feedback. The silence is not an absence of results. It is the presence of a process. So, let's integrate this into a daily framework. A stabilizer's practice. In the morning, before you do anything else, you declare your function. Today, my function is to stabilize. You consciously choose to withdraw observation from one specific old narrative for the day. Throughout the day, you perform your frequency anchoring, those 1-minute resets, returning to the feeling state of calm potential. You are tuning your instrument. When moments of quiet or perceived nothingness occur, you practice navigating silence. You recognize it as a positive signal and relax into it, allowing the process to unfold without interference. This is the work now. It is subtle. It is internal. It lacks the drama of the old world struggle and hustle, but it is infinitely more powerful. You are moving from a reality creator who works with force and effort to a reality stabilizer who works with frequency and coherence. You are no longer trying to bend the field to your will. You have become the stable center around which the field itself reorganizes. You are now standing on cleared ground. The noise of demolition has faded. The dust has settled. What once was a dense, restrictive structure is now open space, filled with the silence of pure potential. This is not an ending. This is the quiet, sacred moment before creation begins. You have moved through the chaos. You have learned to navigate the void, and you have become the calm center point. You are a stabilizer. But this stillness, this mastered neutrality, is not the destination. It is the launch pad. The work of a stabilizer is not to remain in the void, but to provide the coherent foundation upon which the new reality can emerge without distortion. The empty ground is not meant to stay empty. It is a blueprint waiting for energy, a field waiting for information. It is the fertile soil for a reality far more aligned, far more intricate, and far more interconnected than the one that had to be dismantled. From this empty ground, an entire city can rise. Not a city of isolated structures, but an interconnected network where your coherence speaks to the coherence of others, where your stabilization contributes to a collective field of emergence. This is the next horizon. What becomes possible now that the old structure is gone? Everything. You've mastered collapse. But when collapse meets entanglement, creation accelerates. We have learned how to hold the space. In our next transmission, we will learn how to build within it. We will move from the physics of dissolution to the architecture of emergence. That is why the next step in our journey is titled Post-Collapse Reality. Explained, how the new structure stabilizes. It is the guide to laying the first stones. To master this next phase and to become a conscious architect of what comes next, subscribe now and activate your notifications. This journey is just beginning. You are not the observer of a world being built. You are the field from which it is born.